okay. I must go on with the evening. Something went wrong tonight. I got murdered in the threatening. And I was making recordings about it. And then I went to the bed for a while, even though I wanted to cook because it was dinner time. Now it's late night. I'm having late dinner. Off. Hi, 9, 8, 7. So what's for dinner? I have the water ready. Anybody ready to give me what I need next? Because 2 people tried to move in here and put me out. What's wrong with it? I don't actually know them in the threatening. I just died, and then so did they get back in their Mitsubishi black SUV, and they left with it. So do you know what ass cooking is? It's when it's your money to pay it out, something from yourself to God, and then you ask God, well, can I keep it? And I'll tell you why. Something to drink. I got a fist in my face. What's not doing there yet? I don't have any cold sodas. One chocolate. So, I am waiting for myself deceased. Is God scary to you? Does God scare you? I know I couldn't scare you if there was something ahead of yourself that I didn't know, but it didn't look good, and you didn't know, and it just looked like whatever's ahead of you, come what may. Like the month of May. Well, it's about to get angry. I'm going to lose this apartment and the threatening, and I'm going to die out of exist just to stay out of your threatening about putting me in jail when I don't want to be there because I need to die on my point. I want to die in God. I want to know God. When I die, I want to see God when I die. I don't actually want to die just because I need to die because I'm going to die one way or another. Why is that an argument with you if I'm not starting that with you? So you have this problem. Everything that comes right at myself, your speech offending, your money confiscation, your charges, your transactions, your traffic. You can't just talk to me like everyone in traffic is the driver of their car. The car has passenger seats, and when you make a speech offense to myself, I just don't afford it. Just like a car has passenger seats, you can't be in the back seat and have a steering wheel and drive. So see The Simpsons, the introduction to The Simpsons. Maggie Simpson is in the back seat in a seat for a baby, a car seat for a baby, or young, small body. And then who's driving is Marge Simpson. This is past its date. Well, I'll need to inspect it. I can use it if it's past its date, if it's in good condition, but this bag is puffed out. Yeah, I don't actually know what it's supposed to look like right now. Okay, I may need to throw this out, but let's try. Okay, that turned. Yep, this is to be thrown away. What's the date on this one? Same date as the one I just threw away, so I'll cut it open and see what happens. Nope, this one turned as well. There's a third one in the refrigerator. I can tie up the plastic bag with the garbage right now, or I can take out the third one in the refrigerator. And if I have to throw it out, if it doesn't fit in the garbage, it looks like poor planning to me. November 30th. Oh, this one should be okay. This is the year 2025. November 30th is ahead of today. What is today's date exactly? Not sure. I don't have karma to tell you. Yeah. I can look it up, but I don't know off the top of my head is what she would say. But it doesn't know. Okay, there's one. Okay, two. I have to count them, but I can't. There's two that are stuck together. Okay, that's fine. Okay, leave that. Okay, this is some leftover cheese. I opened it before and I'm gonna finish it tonight. So what happened is I stored some food and then it spoiled before I used it. That sort of leads me to believe that you don't afford the expiration date and that you could bring me fresh food to replace something that's spoiled. You keep charging food money to myself over food that is spoiled already. That means the store has to pay out the food to myself. I don't owe the money to you if I get food that's spoiled, but you're always knowing the threatening. You won't do anything for God, and it's more than that. I am God deceased right here. I am in the leverage to consume that you would do something for God. So if you serve anyone food from a supermarket after expiration date, but you just give it to them. That's true that I can benefit from that unless you call it food bank program and you check somebody's address as if they paid for it. No one can afford Charles Cho just disappeared that way. He didn't come back from having gone for food bank food. And I don't know where he went because if they didn't give him food, um, he doesn't come back here is not true. He would come back here. There's really no such agreement as that he would not come back here, but he needed the food is what he thinks he says he thinks. He needs the food and he can't be here without it. Well, I need the food I need and he's not here to bring me the restaurant food I need until I die. And that's because he's not supposed to be here for that. He's supposed to live someplace else and make it possible for me to get the restaurant food from someone who would give it to me. And I don't see it in this mind why it would be Charles Toe. That would be the last person on earth I would say yes to if given the threatening that I can say yes or no. But you don't listen to me saying yes or no because we're just there. It's not up to you. That's what Steve said. That's what Steve said is what everybody's doing. It's not up to you. Steve, my oldest brother figure, Steve-ol, he is boo to Donna, not boo to Becky. He's supposed to stop Donna from eating food in my house, and nobody threatened to stop her because I don't afford it. It's this far in the wrong for you to stop somebody making a threatening, but she executed myself with that I was working, so that's why he was supposed to stop her. Well, I wasn't just allowed to be in my house and she was eating. She put me out of my own house and ate in front of me like I was a guest at her table in her house, and I won't leave. I don't understand how to get out. And that's true, that's her problem. I'm the first in alive, and you can't change the birth order because you're thugging somebody with the size of yourself. She's a Trump. Sorry, Mr. President. Sorry to say that. Unfortunately, he's already sorry he is himself, but I am sorry to say that in public, that my mom is Donna Trump. I wouldn't say that my whole life because she keeps doing bank fraud on my own last name. So she's threatening me I can't tell anyone that I know who she is. So I didn't know mostly until I was illegally alive as an adultery. I'm an adultery deceased right here, so I can say it's Donald Trump now because I don't have any money in it anymore. I need more water in my hair. I didn't want to use more because I didn't want to dry off again. I already did that not too long ago. There's something wrong with my hair because my head is enlarged and my hair doesn't feel healthy anymore. Ah, okay. So we were just talking about myself and the creation of myself. We were talking about the mammogram. Yeah, I had a mammogram. Oh, it's called mammograph. Mom called it a mammogram, and that stayed with me for over the years. But when I was in the general practitioner's office, she ordered a mammograph. Yeah, but it wasn't a gynecologist. I didn't go to a gynecologist. No, it was a general practitioner's office. It was by a referral. I had to be there because I had a shoulder injury. There was just a small pinch in the shoulder. Yeah. I need an assistant to touch the garbage for me. Never mind, I'll get it. You people have a debt that doesn't make sense in God. You help. I know I need to wash my hands, but I'm saving the plumber's water for the plumber. Okay. You people have a debt that doesn't make sense in God. When I said I need someone to put a plastic bag in the garbage for me and take the garbage that I put outside, take it out to the dumpster for me, it's true that there's no one on earth who would do that for me without being asked or told. And if they're asked or told, they'll take my keys and lock me out forever. they'll say, and take your garbage on your way out. That's how much money you have. I don't know you personally. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm just telling you how much money you have to talk to God deceased. You don't do to speak to me ever. You owe me that you evacuate everywhere you are. You evacuate all the buildings and traffic. You evacuate cities. You evacuate airports. You're doing jails and prisons because you're like animals in the zoo. Yep, you need to be animals in the zoo, unfortunately, because you don't know how to go into jail or prison because, like, you are yourself. How you doing up there, Father? You don't know how to go into jails and prisons because you're a legal alive genital penis. Yep, and the feminine castration is illegal to castrate the penis. That won't help. So if you have a penis, you have to go to jail and prison because you have a penis. And if you're a illegal feminine castration of the penis, you have to go to jail because you're illegally female. Yep, you're not the castration of a dung, so you're not a female that way. I'm the Godhead, and you don't know who I am because you're not in jail and prison. And if you were in jail and prison, you don't know who I am because you're not alive as do. So are you starting to know who I am and you're just really smart, like you have nothing to lose and nothing to gain? I have nothing to lose and I have nothing to gain right here. Wait, there's something wrong with you. You don't know it. You have something wrong with you and you don't know it. Yeah, I'm not really like that. I complain about everything that's wrong with me in my life, and you tell me that I should do that someplace else. Everywhere I've ever been in my life. This is the internet, and you have critical comments on the internet. You want me to go back to a psychiatrist harassment. I'm still alive here, like that I can see the city of Las Vegas, so there are still psychiatry problems out there, but it's homeless at this point. Why do you recommend that I stop who I am? Because you don't believe in me. I'm none higher than he deceased, and I am closing down alive in leverage. I'm doing that with myself. And you don't have any confidence in me that I can do that. That is what I am. It's what I do. Every time alive is alive. That's me. That's what I do. And you don't want me to do that because you want to send me to psychiatry. Are you sure you can afford to say that to me? Because that should zero out all the psychiatry I've ever been through, and that's still not paid for because I had to go through it. And there's something wrong with you making me say that. I can't be funny like what you are. I can't say, well, now you shut down alive. Yeah, take my place if you think you can do it better. It's not really like that. I am myself, and it doesn't move. It doesn't change ever. And you made me so angry. I don't even want to know who you are when I'm not in my Godhead anymore. No, but yet I am myself. I'm stuck with you, and you're stuck with me the wrong way. Well, I never changed. You did something to betray and burn me like you've never seen me before and ever. And myself has ever been the same. You're some part of myself, I don't know, because I have a Godhead. But the way you treat me is worse than if I was, I don't know, you to yourself. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to think about it. This is going out of alive. Needs more water. Why did I do that? Yeah, I put the lid on and I have more water here, but I didn't know how much to add. Well, there's some in there. This is half the bottle. And how much soup mix is this? Yeah, should I pour more? Pour more water in there, but I don't want to. I don't want to lift the lid for that reason. Okay, it's boiling, but keep going. Yeah, but I can't. If I can't get the water out, okay, I think I'm gonna try that. Don't know yet. I don't cook for Charles Toe, but when he used to cook for me, I told him I'll add the salt myself because you can't get the salt out if it's too salty. And he wasn't really mean about that. Yeah, he let me add my own salt or soy sauce, which is salty. I need water in my hair. More. Oh, it's done already. Boiling. Okay. Let's try this again. Soup mix. I'm making sauce out of soup mix for the ravioli. Or I guess you could say I'm having ravioli soup, but I'm making it thicker. Are you touching me? I don't want to touch you that way. Thank you. I don't know you out there. We're going all the way to the bottom, and I'm going all the way to the top after this. And you're not going to get in my way again ever for your petty little criminal problems you don't know how to put in jail. I don't know why you even pay charges at a supermarket, because you need to get caught shoplifting. You need to make people angry and end up in jail because you're not themselves and they're not yourself. Yep. How come you fight with me? Yeah, you're not myself. I'm not yourself. You're not myself. You don't know how to get someone all up and in your face angry that you're not myself, I'm not yourself with somebody else, eye to eye, and then you end up in jail. Oh, you need a criminal record for doing that because you're going to go out of alive without even so much as a parking ticket. You don't know how to fight with somebody, but you're not myself and I'm not yourself. You don't know how to fight or why. And yet you're so expert in the comments. You want to talk to me about my psychiatry, which is unfortunately so many penises who are not doctors because you have illegal genitals. You need to be a DOCTOR. You need to have a DONG genital. And that's not alive. So there's no doctor in alive. And that's why I don't want to see psychiatry. It's just a bunch of penises saying they're over me in front of a lot of other people, which is sort of just acknowledging that you don't belong in my bedroom, but they walk right in. Right, doctor? Oh, Dr. Schaefer. Do you have a somebody in your room complex? Dr. Schaefer, he's the reason I don't need to go back to psychiatry, because I don't need the can I put somebody in your room problem. Okay, turn down the heat to 5. Let me try that. Would you let me put somebody in your room? Never, right? Oh, that you know how to say no to. You know how to say yes to the money. You know how to say no to something that's against yourself. And I don't care why. If it's against yourself, that should help, right? If it's possible to alive and it's against yourself and it alives that way, what's the problem? Yeah. You don't ever said that it was a problem. You don't fight over me. It's not a problem. Why do you give me all the bad news? If it doesn't matter, why do you give me so much bad news to my own self? And you don't have it to balance it out. You don't have the problems to yourself so that I can have some consumption and something bad happen to you. Instead, you say, well, you don't want me to have the consumption of something bad happening to you. Why not? I'm not yourself. You have to acknowledge that it's one way or another and not yourself. And you all don't have any problems. You're waiting for me to finish all the problems I have to myself because of me causing God above me to give you problems you think you don't deserve. You think you don't have any problems. I don't know. Do you have some identity? Do you tell God above yourself your identity is, I don't have any problems. I have an identity that is perfect. Well, you're very far in the wrong, not going to die that way. There's a lot of people in public. That's what problems are. When you're not alone, you have problems with people around you because you're not alone. You can't say you don't want those problems because you don't die another way. The problems are there because you're not alone and you need to die. When you die, that is like alone, your body will die. That's you and you're not there anymore. That's why you have to have problems. Okay, it's boiling. Turn it down. Add more water. Well, add more water. It's 5. That should be low enough, right? Charles chose a sex offender to myself. And right at the beginning, he announced himself that he thinks that I broke my virginity. Yeah. But what was I supposed to do? I should have only had sex with just one male. Yeah, just one. It's an agreement, I guess. It doesn't really matter who asked who, but he was really hung up on that. I said yes, and I should have said no. Very hung up on that. Absolutely burned me to the bottom of hell for that. I should have said no to some hoopiness who asked me for sex, and I'm not going to jail for you. Well, I'm not going to jail for you. You belong homeless, and then you don't tell me where you are after that. Well, I think it's really terrible, traumatic experience to be sexually abused by some hoopiness who just wants my cooperation. Do you want my cooperation? If you went to a cashier and you asked for $1 with cooperation out of the register, the answer would be no. They call the police and you have to get out. Well, you actually don't have that paid for. That if somebody says, give me all the money in the register, and they don't have a gun or anything, you just have to do it on the first threat. And if you don't, they can just walk off, and that's against you. You didn't do it. You didn't actually go through the threatening. You don't go through all the ask threatening. You assume that there's people who will say no, and then you don't. You get stuck in the threatening. Maybe you are due to make a threatening, but you don't actually alive the threatening. Go into a convenience store and say, I would like to work here now. Tell the clerk to get out so that you can stay there and you can, attend to the register for a day. It's an argument about the surveillance cameras that the cashier attendant won't leave the 7-Eleven. If you want to rob the place by making the cashier leave, you can try. I don't know why you would do it. But that's what I mean. You don't have asked correctly. You don't know what to ask for. You don't know when. You don't know why. So, I'm making all the threatening. There's all kinds of asks that you never asked for. Did you ask for me to execute my order? I did. But there are so many other asks that you didn't explore, which is how do you ask for trouble to yourself if you think I'm asking for it? Yeah. Where you, every one of you is a wild mouth. Oh yeah, all up in my business. And I don't really understand you being at the bottom of the threatening that way, because the bottom of the threatening is when you don't know because you're demented. That means you're overlapping the threatening and you're malicious, over malicious, and you're really angry with myself personally, but I am myself. It's not due to be angry with me. You can't be malicious. I'm stating the order. You cannot be the malicious and hit the accelerator on a car and crash it because it's not your car. And in the same way, you cannot make me ruin my whole life to myself with your ask for cooperation. That's going out. Yep, it's going to be heavily punished because I can't live with that in my life elsewhere when I'm not with you anymore. I still think about that I've been here, if you know what I mean. Without my head, I can still see it. And you don't really know that about me when you're offending because you're in the offending and it doesn't see more than its own immediate problem, which is due in prison. Why don't you know? What are you getting out of that you don't go to prison? What's wrong with you, really? Why are you in creation? Are you not high enough to be in the world? You're not high enough to be in the world. Why are you here? You have a penis genital. It doesn't look like you really do have a penis genital because why are you a rapist? If you have a penis, you might be homeless, but you wouldn't be a rapist. Why are you a rapist? And if it's not you exactly, if you don't know who I am, then why do you consume it? Because I'm testifying that I've been raped. And why are you consuming it? What are you? What kind of God are you? I'm right here holding alive this way that I'm going to move it all, that you're not going to have any sort of possibility to be this kind of criminal again. That means I'm going to strip off all your leverage in its negative, and then you're going to be stuck with whatever it is you didn't want before you were here. Yeah. So you're just talking to yourself. Thank you. Touch me in the nipple. Thank you, Father. You have sex in front of people. You talk about your love with God in front of people. Yeah, I'm homeless and died is due to myself. Thank you. Are you showing the people how you like to word and reword things? Oh, we don't reword things, yeah. Well, I have a testimony of corruption of testimony. There is some rewording going on in my mind. You know, when it's not alive that way, but it's rewording that talks about what if it was alive that way, or it's some kind of criticism of alive, how it happened, how should it happen? Rewording. Yeah, like sexual abuse with Charles Toe. You should have said no. You should have been all swears. Really? Okay, because this is rewording right here. And I don't have alive that way. The rewording doesn't have alive that way. But it's still such a thing as it's not alive that way. I don't have alive that way. It's not alive that way, and it's rewording. And it's very torturous and tormenting, and I can't live with that as God. That will be eliminated. Because not alive that way, nobody can really be in two places at one time. Do I want to eat with this? I could eat with this. Well, I don't know. I don't need two. Yeah. Well, I have to see if I like it. Okay. Well, there's going to be soup. Is this 10 minutes? Yeah. Anybody watching the clock? Is this 10 minutes yet? Okay, I'm gonna call it quits. Anyone watch Jeff Dunham? Spark of Insanity? Yeah. Jeff Dunham, he's a ventriloquist. He didn't find that alarming. Well, he's quite the entertainer. I enjoyed it myself, but I'm not supposed to like it at his expense. Well, he's due elsewheres now. Jeff Dunham. Okay, so this is the cheddar broccoli soup with ravioli in here. And I need one. Charles Taylor would eat with a spoon and a fork. That's my testimony. I know you can't see him do that right now. So I have a spoon and a fork. Reminds me of Charles Taylor, but I really only need one. I eat ravioli with, okay, just to err on the side of caution, I will eat with the spoon. So the fork goes where? Because... Okay, I have this Parmesan cheese here. I guess I don't really need it. Yeah, not really. I could use it just to use it up. But it looks like pretty cheesy. Doesn't it look cheesy? Well, I took it out because I wanted to finish it because there's that much left in there. And then this is just very saucy and cheesy. I think I'm going to keep it. Okay, the water's already out there. Okay, see you after dinner. Just kidding. That burner is hot and it's off, but it's still hot. Right? I need Mitch Hello to ensure the camera and cell phone contract of Charles Toe because he's feeding supermarket food. So in the event of that, I need a new camera and cellular phone personal communication device contract with YouTube as well. I need Mitch Hello to supply that, but he hasn't done that yet in the past 6 months. And Charles Toe didn't get the contract under these conditions. And I don't need to say that to Mitch because he's a lawyer. He went to law school, Northwestern University Law School in Chicago, Illinois. I didn't see him at the school. I saw him at the graduation. So that was at Navy Pier in Chicago. What year was that? I was in high school. 1990 something. Yeah, like, I don't want to say exactly the year. I don't remember right now. 1990, 1991 maybe? 1990? Can't say. I'm sorry. I don't know. So I need a new contract because Charles Toe's contract is expired. But I can't use that. It is not offered exactly. Charles Toe, I asked him for the contract, but he did give me two. One of them was offered. There were three. I should have had them all, but I have two of them. And one of them was offered, so that means I need another phone that's offered, and I don't have leverage to get one offered to myself because it has to be offered to me because I am myself threatening you as much as if I gave you money. That's always true about everything. You have a problem and you don't know it. Panic at the Disco, Brendan Urie. Brendan Fraser, Urie, and Taylor Swift. The song Me, M-E with an exclamation mark. So if I had to cook for you in my leverage, who would sit down and eat it? I owe you that I could poison you and watch you die over a plate of food in one bite. Yeah, but I don't have leverage. You think that's enough for sexual climax in the presence of an enemy? Why would I have that problem if I can't put a plate of food in front of somebody else and make them hungry? I can't argue with you over the food supply because, well, I guess when you know who I am, you won't ask me that question anymore. Yes, I have all the leverage on my clitoris. It's too much leverage to have at all. Too much. I'm small in my past. Yep, I'm very, I would say, present with the creation of myself and attentive to the details of the creation of myself. I'm not attentive to sexual climax in the presence of an enemy, and you can't fight back in public. You sick bastard people. Who answers a phone call that's ringing in and they're very attentive to what they hear on the telephone? You're speaking for God. You can't shout as far as a telephone can call. And you didn't dial the phone, and that if you hear it ringing in, you didn't dial the phone. Who has multiple phone lines? You could call yourself and hear the phone ring in, and that's you calling, and it's you on the other line. Multiple phone lines are too much karma. I'm gonna die the wrong way. I want to meet Taylor Swift before I die. But I can't because she's not really a human. So I can just see her on the internet. Well, let me see as much as possible, In the process of trying to sue you for money for food, and then I had to sue you because I didn't get the money. I worked, I sued you, and I didn't get money from work or from suing anyone. And I did not go to law school after I sued and did not collect. I think Mitch is suing me, and that's why I went to Northwestern University Law School, because he was suing me. I think he had to be there. Well, he said he applied, I think, between Duke University and Northwestern University, and he went to Northwestern University Law School. But I don't know how he applied. How did he get interested in that? I have time to go to law school now, but I'm not healthy. So if Mitch is suing me, I suppose so is everyone, right? If you leave a comment on YouTube, you're suing me. Comments are open. You know, I'm resting in my lifetime with being able to be physically close to some strangers. And my friend Joellen Myra from growing up, I've known her since kindergarten, about age 4 or 5. I'm ready to see Joellen again. I said this in a previous video, I just remembered. But I'm just saying, I have not ascended really to being more than that. You keep putting shots of Halidol in me when I'm shouted. You keep taking away everything that moves. You watch me that I'm sleeping. There's a loose copy of this front door key out there. I'm not here. So I could see Joellen about food matters. So if I sat down with her for a lunch, should we just say coffee at Starbucks? I don't drink coffee, but what about latte? Do you call that coffee? Okay, like a latte. I would drink a latte at Starbucks. Maybe one I've never tried before. And sit there with Joellen and she could, I don't know, whatever she wants to ingest. Tell me what she's been eating over the past 25 years. Give me a list of everything she ate because I don't have the money counted if she was going to give me any money. No, right? Does that sound like wrong to you? Some 4-year-old's going to grow up and give me money. Okay, let's say it another way. If Joellen was going to make a comment on this video, would you say about Joellen? Joellen, where is she going to get any money? Why was she in school? So what do you think? Who's going to give me any money ever, anywhere, ever? Doesn't mean you don't owe it. I have to make you owe the money. Yeah, but I'm deceased. Why do I have to make you owe the money and then you don't pay it and you keep it? Is that your way of making money? You owe me money and then you keep it and spend it on yourself. Me? Why don't you do that to somebody? Like, get a dog and do that. Put it in a dog show and make a few bucks. Why are you trying to do that to none higher than he deceased? You have no possibility of being elsewheres. I don't really believe you. because of high-speed traffic. Well, it's for the dog's pet food, right? If a dog is in a dog show, it lost its house, but it gets pet food. They feed them treats. Westminster Dog Show. They have a giant schnauzer. This needs to be baked in an oven. I'm just going to eat it this way. I think Joellen got herself into a deep debt easily. So how is she going to live with that now that I'm punishing it myself? Do we think Max Myroff, Joellen's animal dog, is he going to be in as much trouble as Joellen? Is that the excuse you're going to make in front of God when you're done? And Joellen had a Bichon Frise dog in the house. His name was Max, and he had from time to time, or once, he had a plastic, what she called a lampshade around his head, so he wouldn't bite his skin. He tried to bite himself, maybe like he was itching and scratching. He was biting himself, and he had a lampshade on, so he couldn't reach to bite himself.